Just taking a piece of cherry, measuring to cut in half, so that way I can have two pieces. And when you put them together, you're going to measure the halfway point there as well. Then you're going to clamp it, and what you're going to end up doing is making some concentric circles. So you can see right here where it's clamped, I've already made the outer circle. And you can see on the board where I made the hash marks, they're roughly 7/8 of an inch. This way you can make your concentric circles and be nice and even. I've now moved over to the bandsaw, and I'm going to rotate the table to roughly 30 degrees. It's not important to be exact, just to be close enough. And then from there, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting those concentric circles. You'll see it's on the half piece of wood, and as you watch, you're going to see you're going to slowly make an angle. It's not that important to be perfectly on the line. Take the cut pieces, just apply a light coat of carpenter's glue, push them together with your fingers. No need to clamp. I've made dozens of these. I've never had one come apart at the seams. And you're just going to do this with each of the parts. Do it lightly on the ends. Make sure they're nice and square. Hand clamp, and that'll be just fine. Now all you got to do is attach those glued up pieces. You don't even have to wait all that long. Put a light coat of carpenter's glue on it, and then you're going to see with the sandpaper, that's roughly 60 grit, kind of rub it over it. Some of the grit will fall into the glue. It just helps it from sliding as you put the glue on top of the next piece. This is that same piece. I let it dry overnight. Drilled a hole in the center, put in a little toothpick. What I found is that when I'm going to use this method of attaching it to a faceplate, applying the glue and with a hole drilled in the center of it, just helps to make the pieces line up easier, just to keep it easier for turning. Now just transferring the glued up piece over to the lathe. Always make sure that you're going to wear safety equipment to protect your face. You're going to see why here in a second, as this happened very early on in the turning. Yes, I was not expecting that to break off. I re-glued the piece back onto the faceplate support that I had. All I'm doing now is just doing turnings inside and outside, trying to start to make it round. From this angle, you can see the nice big chips coming off. That means it's mostly flat and you're removing an awful lot of material quickly. You can see on the inside here, very light touch. You don't want to be aggressive. You'll notice in that last sequence there, the tool is reaching pretty far inside. That's never a good idea. You're not getting a whole lot of support. So rotate the tool rest so that it's inside the bowl or inside the shape. That way you get more support and you're less likely to create some chatter or have, worse yet, have the tool grab and catch. just transitioning to work over on the outside, being very light. I happen to like a curve that's very wide at the top and tapered to the bottom. This next section here, I actually made 2 glue ups using this cherry. This is another method to hold it where I used the 4-jaw chuck. I've already made some turnings on it, and I'm going to continue to do some more. And again, in this angle here, you can see I'm working on the outside. And again, I'm going to do a nice taper from top to bottom. Now just working on the inside, again, making sure the tool rest is going to be able to support the tool inside, as well as making sure that it's not going to catch or gouge. You want to try to limit the distance from the tool rest to the tool to the bowl so that it doesn't catch. During this period here, I'm going to start and stop many, many times that I edit it out, and I'm trying to feel for the thickness of the bowl. So right here, I'm noticing on the inside, there's actually like a little hump. It happens to be near the bottom, so I'm going to concentrate on trying to get that lump out and make it even with the rest of the inside of the bowl. Just went back to working with the one that's with the glue up that's on the faceplate, just doing a little bit of the inside. And again, it's going to be sanded in the same way as the other. But in this case, what I'm also going to show is how I removed it, and it happened to be with a handsaw. Once this one comes off the handsaw, and then I also had the other one that was from the 4-jaw chuck, I took them over to a sanding station and made the bottoms nice and flat. For finishing, I use a 50-50 mix of shellac along with denatured alcohol, and basically, 50-50 mix, half cup, half cup. But you can see how this one has been sitting for so long that it actually had separated. Quick shake and everything will be good to go. Also then you can see in the big jar I happen to have a foam brush. That foam brush has been in that jar for months. As long as you keep it in that jar, it will stay nice and soft and you can use it over and over again. You can see I'm applying the finish rather liberally, not a whole lot of care being taken to be exact. It's more important to get it covered, especially with this cherry. It will really soak up that first layer. This is 30 minutes after the application of the first layer. Just taking a sanding sponge. You can use anything, 320, 400, 600, 800. I think this actually may be 1,000 grit. As long as you sand, make everything, knock down the high spots, wipe it out with a microfiber cloth and apply liberally just like you before, and then just repeat and repeat until you're satisfied with the finish.